Hello, hello everyone. For the delay and apologies for the picture quality that you are seeing. I shall just give it a couple of minutes as I wait for you guys to join us. To wait for the viewers then. Yeah. Is that any better? Probably not. Not a lot I can really do. I'm too far away. Hello, viewers at home. Dat Roland. Hello, welcome in. Let us know who's here. I can only see 6 of you now joining the party. Welcome along. We're finally here. It is the biggest moment of the season so far. To just finish off a little bit of housekeeping. Wait for a few more of you to join. I'll probably give it 2 or 3 more minutes till. Welcome along, Daniel. Yes, indeed, it is live. Oh, Danny, it. Keeping me going through. My fellow comms member, welcome along. I said we'll just give it a couple more minutes. Wait till a few of you are in, and then we shall get going with what promises to be an exciting draw. I am getting told that the lens is pretty dirty. I don't really use webcam, so I will do my best to clean it for you in a second. Let's have a look, see if I've got some close to hand. I didn't really want to have to get up out of my seat, but you will see me struggle. Is that any better? Mind about my hair, Dan. At least I've got a hairline. So, right, 16, 17 of you in here now. I will give it just 2 more minutes before we start with this draw. Welcome along, Do Will. Nice to see you here again. Are you all excited? Let me know your predictions. Who do you think is going to be champion in the comments below? There's a few bits I have to run through at the start of this draw before we get into the nitty-gritty of the draw itself, I should say. Hello, Jack FRS. Who's Jack FRS? I do not recognise a Jack FRS. It's a Jack DNF that I recognise. Harvey for gold. Jack for Haas. A few Haas drivers there wanting to come along. Right. It is 4:45. We've got 17 of you in. I'll give it another minute or so before we start with this draw. Yes, 18 of you now. Hopefully we can get 20 or so in before we start this draw. It's exciting times here at CRL indeed. Hopefully nothing goes wrong, but it's me that's doing the draw, so who knows what is going to happen. We have got 18 of you in now. Hiya to everyone. Nemo, welcome along. Kyle, hello. Who else have we got in the party that has... Let's see if we can see who the viewers are. Get me a little mouse. See if we can click on the viewership. No viewership as it stands. Oh, there we go, participants. So who have we got in? Welcome along. Shadow Moody, welcome as well. Joining the conversation. Right, it is going to be 45 seconds till I get on with this draw then. How is everybody's nerves doing at home? The power is now in my hands. 30 seconds and we shall get going for what promises to be the most exciting and closest CRL season yet, season number 3. Right, so with 16:46 on the clock, it is now time to start this draw. So, quick bit of admin before we get going. Obviously, not a lot of rule changes this year in CRL, most of it remaining the same as it has been for Season 2. We've got one slight difference, though, in the Academy. That is now changed. So it's gone from a 18% and 18-minute and 25% race to an 18-minute quali and a 50% race. So those boys now in the Academy getting their chance in a proper CRL distance. So that is the biggest change that we've got here for this season. A few driver changes, obviously, as you'd expect. Biggest one that you probably would imagine is the champions from last year. So a big shout out to Chris Panda and Ja Williams, winners of Tier 2 and Academy respectively. So they are now in Tier 1 and Tier 2 effectively. So promotions for both of them this year. Chris Panda joining last year's champion of Season 2, Do Will in the top tier. So hello, welcome along, Harvey. So here we go then. That is pretty much all the admin out of the way, and now it's time for the big one. 3 separate draws within this video. As you can imagine, all of the lineups will be done in the next half hour or so. Quick bit of housekeeping. So as you can not clearly see, but see in front of me, we have got 4 different pots. Much like last year's draw, it is again based on these 4-pot system. All 20 drivers across the 3 divisions have been split into separate pots in order to make the constructors as competitive as we can. So in the 3 different tiers, you have got pots 1, which the conversation was they are seen as the fastest drivers, and they will be paired with drivers from pot 4. These are not by all means considered slow. They are just based on what the conversation people involved with it saw and sort of thing, and just said, this is it. So a lot of these drivers in the low ones I know have gone onto wheels, changed assist. So all it is it's just to try and make the Constructors' Championship across all divisions as competitive as possible. Yes, Just, I will get to that in just a second. The middle 2 pots, then 2 and 3, are what's classified as the middle 10, just split once again across 5, and they will be paired with one another, once again, just seeing to provide competition. Standard rules apply again this year. The CRC1 and CRC2 will have a combined Constructors' Championship, while the Academy will run separately. For this draw, then, I will be drawing from my left, which is this pot here, 2 right pots, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you will see me go 1 to 4 and 2 and 3. As for constructors, I will not be drawing any constructors teams until the end of the drivers draw. Just to give you an example, if you can possibly see this piece of paper here, you will see that there is a here, which represents what an Academy pairing would be like. I will team draw at the end, so all 3 of these pairings will be in the same constructors, just to make it a little bit easier for me, and also it means that all of you will find out at once what car you will be driving in. So that, I think, is pretty much all the admin done. So all that's left now is to get on with that all-important draw. And now we will be working from the 3rd tier up. So the first draw that I've already got laid out in front of me is, of course, the Cone Racing Academy, won last year by Williams. Here was closely fought with Warrior Huntsman, and they are both looking to see who they are in with this year. So as Pepin, you have asked as well, I will go through all the pots. I have them here on my phone, so don't you worry, I'm not making it up as we go along. So as I said, Ja Williams won the Academy Live. He's been pumped up into Tier 2, fully deserved, may I add. And his closest competitor, Warrior Huntsman, remains in the Academy. So in this pot on my left-hand side, I have got Big Weed, Warrior Huntsman, Dat Roland, Maconi, and Big Ben. So they are the 5 drivers that will make up pot 1. Remember, these are going to be paired with pot 4. So pot 4 is Immortal Viking, one of the newcomers this year, Matt Warner 92 and Racing Slade 2, Van Goverden and Piero 1987. So that is pots 1 and 4, and they will form the pairings. And the middle two pots, pots 2 and 3. Pot 2 on my left here is MUFC Harvey, Assault King 28, Shadow Moody, Kieran and Sprunky. So 2 of the new guys going straight into that second pot for the academy. And pot number 3, lobby host Murphy, the admin for the academy, Vegas JB, Luke 14 Knot, Tomo Tip Top, and Lewis Qualo 19. So all that remains now is for me to give these a bit of a shuffle. We love the special effects here on this show, don't we? As we get on with the first driver draw. This is pots 1 and 4, remember. So the first driver lineups. So as we shuffle there, what I will do is to keep it fair in terms of the constructors draw later. I will be drawing a pot 1 and 4 first, and then a pot 2 and 3 second, just so that when it does come to the academy, not the academy draw, the constructors draw, it is a little bit fairer in terms of the first 5 constructors won't just go to pots 1 and 4. So I hope you are paying attention at home. I've got my notepad, and we are ready to go in this draw. The first driver in the CRL Season 3 lineup is Mac-Oni. So I don't know if you'll be able to see that there, but that is Mac-Oni, so formerly of Mercedes. He is the first driver out in this Season 3 draw. So he will be racing in the academy alongside if I can pick up the paper correctly, Van Goverden. So Van Goverden will partner Mac-Oni in the first drawn out academy partnership. Remember, I will not be drawing out the constructors until later on. So for now, that is the first driver lineup as we move on to the pot 2 driver. And it is formerly of Ferrari, MUFC Harvey, if that is clear for you. MUFC Harvey is next out of the draw. So he is there. MUFC Harvey will be alongside Murphy. So Murphy, if that's better. Murphy is there. He is alongside Harvey. Quite strong partnership there. Who is going to be next? Is back to pot 1 as we go for that pot now. Dat Roland. So newcomers to the academy, there you are. You can go off on your date now because you have drawn out Dat Roland. And your partner for this year will be another newcomer to the academy, Immortal Viking. Immortal Viking, one of the 3 South Africans, I believe, this year in the academy. So he is outside along with Dat Roland. Back into pot number 2. It is Sprunky. So Sprunky is next out of the draw. And he will be alongside Le 14 Knock. So Le 14 Knock will be partnering Sprunky. Not the easiest name to pronounce, that Le 14 Knock. Probably be a bit of a problem for me and Danny on commentary again this year as we go back into pot 1. And it is big Ben with a bunch of numbers, but I've only written Big Ben. So Big Ben is out in the Academy draw. Who will be his partner this year remains to be seen. It is Matt Warner 92. So Matt Claren, as he was affectionately known last year, Matt Warner 92 will be partnering Big Ben. Wonder whether they'll have the McLaren again this year or not. Who is next? It is Kirant 2019. So Kirant 2019 is out of the pot, and he will be in the Academy again, a newcomer to the division. And his partner for this year will be Vegas JV. So the teammates last year, Murphy and Vegas, are split up this year, and Vegas JV will be alongside the newcomer Kirant. As we go back into pot one now for the penultimate driver from there. And there it is. So we're wondering when he would come out. Warrior Huntsman, last year's runner-up, is next out of the draw. Warrior Huntsman. And he will be alongside Racing Slade 2. So Racing Slade 2, he was going to partner last year's runner-up. That promises to be an interesting partnership. Back into pot two then for Shadow Moody. So formerly of Ferrari, Shadow Moody is out of the pot for the first time today and only time today, Shadow Moody. And he will be partnered by Luis Coelho, or Luis Coelho. He is out of the draw next. Luis Coelho will partner Shadow Moody. And now there should be just a few drivers left as we come on to the final pairings in the Academy. Pairing number 9 is, of course, Digweed. So Digweed making a return to a full-time seat comes into the final drivers pairing. And his partner will be Piero 1987, or Piero, as his driver tag says. So Piero and Digweed, which means the final partnership in this Academy will be Assault King. Very good last year. Assault King out then. And he will be partnered by the final driver from the Academy draw. That is another newcomer, Tomo Tip Top. Tomo Tip Top. So there you have it. That is the Academy draw, all done and dusted. Remember, there is no constructors assigned as yet. We will be waiting till CRC1 and CRC2 have been drawn themselves. They'll all be aligned, and then the constructors will come into play. So a quick run through then. We have our Academy grid set for this year. Pairing number 1, Marconi and Van Gogh Verdon. MUFC Harvey will be driving alongside Murphy. It's Dat Roland and Immortal Viking. Sprunky will race up with Luke Knock. Big Ben and Matt Warner 92. It's Kirant and Racing Slade. Kirant and Vegas. It's Warrior and Racing Slade. Shadow Moody and Luis Coelho. Digweed and Piero. And then our final pairing in the Academy is Assault King and Tomo Tip Top. So there we have it. That is the Academy all done and dusted. As we now move on to CRC2. Some big names to look out for. Dropping down from the first tier are that guy Draper, myself, and Pheasant Plucker. Look out for them two then. So coming down from the first tier, coming up from tier 2, you're looking at Ja Williams, our champion from last year. So he is in pot number 4. I will go through them again, don't worry. Super Gabu also makes his step up from the academy. So does J.D. Williams. As we get this ready to go. So here we go then. In pot number 1, we have got Pheasant Plucker, That Guy Draper, 4-star, Bring F1 and Royal Viking. So another driver you can see there in Royal Viking, making that step up from the academy. That's what it's all about here at CRL. Pot number 2, Sadistic King, Jamie there, Big Bows, Kyle C619, he is in the second pot as well. Claire PR is there. Nelu Safu joins them as well. So that is pot number 2. We move on to pot number 3. One of my McLaren teammates from last year, Captain Nick. He's in there alongside your last year's champion, Jack Williams. We've got Cole Paradox also in there. The final 2 drivers in pot 3, Toads, Oath, and Jack Dumph. Dumph by name, Dumph by nature. And that leaves then pot number 5, as I've already mentioned, JD and Super Gabu stepping up. Ben Wheeler is in there as well. Don't forget, we've also got Liverpool fan and Craigo82. Welcome along, Peo. Nice to see you. You are indeed back. Peo, you are paired this year with Piero. No constructors as of yet, but you are paired with Piero. So I've run you through those CRC 2 pairings. And now we go for the draw, if I can find my lid. There we go. So there is the all-important Super Shake that we have here. Special effects are ravaging. Oh, stop it. My dulcet tones, how dare you. That just be too nice. Welcome along, Super Gabu. Keep an eye out for this part of the draw. You are in pot number 4. So once again, you are paired with someone from the first pot. So that is Pheasant Plucker, myself, 4-star, Bring F1 and Royal Viking in pot number 1. And as I come on to the final pot now, we get ready for the second part of this draw. If only I had an assistant. Right. So here we go then. The all-important part of this video, the draw for Series RC2 starts now. As Pheasant Plucker for IDMCI is first out. So Pheasant Plucker is out. And he will be partnered by JD1906. So Pheasant Plucker and JD1906 are the first pairing in the Tier 2. So they are out of the bag. What about this second pot then? As we go to our next driver, it's Kyle. So one of these drivers I mentioned earlier on new assist and on wheel, Kyle, Turbo Kyle, is out next. And he will be partnered by Tobes 0310. So Tobes 0310 will be with Kyle. Here we go then. So looking to partner this Tier 1 driver. Who have we got? It is Bring F1. So Bring F1 is out next. And he will be partnered by Liverpool Fan 2020. So Liverpool Fan is Bring F1's partner for this year. So Liverpool Fan and bring F1. We'll go back to pot number 2, and it's Claire PR involved in the title race all the way down to the final rounds. Claire PR is next. And he will be partnered by Cole Paradox. So it's the inner team in CRC2, Cole Paradox. As we move back into number 1. Oh, this is a big one. This is me, that guy Draper. So that guy Draper down after scoring not enough points to stay in tier 1. Who will be my partner for this year? Ooh, it remains to be seen as it comes out of the pot now. It is B Wheeler. So B Wheeler. So B Wheeler and myself driving this year. Cole Paradox teammate Strauss is Claire PR. Claire PR for Cole Paradox's teammate. Myself and Ben Wheeler, the next one drawn out. Still yet to see the... Hey, none of that, Liverpool fan. No, you won't be allowed. How dare you all. The next driver out then of pot number 2 is Nelu Safu. So Nelu Safu taking a full-time seat this year. He is going to be partnered by the one, the only, the man, the myth, and the legend. It's Jack Dumpf. Jack Dumpf is out next. So Jack Dumpf and Nelu Safu make up the 6th pairing, I think. Yeah, 6th pairing in this Tier 2 league. As we go back to pot number 1, just 2 drivers remain in every pot. And the new promoted driver is a Royal Viking. So Royal Viking promoted up into CRC2. He comes out next. And he will be partnered by Super Gabu. Super Gabu. Super Gabu. An academy pairing then in Tier 2. Both improved drastically over the course of last season, making use of that academy, and they will be driving together this season, I should say, in CRC2. 3 more pairings to go then. Next out is my favourite driver name, because I can't say it on camera, Big Bows. Big Bows out next. And his partner will be Captain Nick. So Captain Nick, formerly of McLaren, is partnering Big Bows this year. So that leaves just 2 pairings left. It's 1 in each pot. So our top pot driver is a 4-star. So again, another driver running close in the title race last year. 4-star is out next. And he will be partnered by Craigo82. So Craigo82, some good results as he came in last year. That's a very, very strong pairing there for CRC2. So Craigo82 and 4-star. And then the final pairing, probably one of the strongest as well in this academy. It is Sadistic King. So Jamie, there, the last name out of pot number 2. And last but not least, in this tier. It is, of course, the champion of the Academy last year, Ja Williams. Ja Williams, your Academy champion, is partnering Sadistic King. So that is it for tier number 2. We are over halfway through this draw. And here we go. CRC2 Pheasant Plucker will be partnered by JD1906. It's Kyle and Tobes. Bring F1 will be alongside a Liverpool fan as Claire PR and Cole Paradox form the All-C team. Myself, that guy Draper, is with B Wheeler. I hope you've got a strong back, son, because you'll be carrying this team a lot. It's Nelu Safu and Jack Dumpf. Royal Viking and Super Gabu both making that step up then and partnering each other this season. It's Big Bowers and Captain Nick, 4-star and Cragger82, and that final partnership, Sadistic King and Jack Williams. So there it is. That is tier 2 all done and dusted. All that is left now is the main event, the CRC1 draw. Slight difference with this one compared to the other draws is that there are fewer drivers in pots 1 and 4. So because of how close it is, it has been reduced by 1. So there will be more drivers from pots 2 and 3 than pots 1 and 2. So no, I'll be not making a mistake by going into the wrong pots. So as you see the housekeeping that I am doing, I shall once again read out the drivers list that we have. So CRC1 this year contains your current reigning champion, Do Will, hoping he can be in a Mercedes or Ferrari powered car, I think is his plan this year. He's joined alongside Ferg, CGM Ferg, and Harvey Lee. So all of them at the start of the season started really well, and they all finished very strongly as well. So they are the 4 drivers in pot number 1. Pot number 2 then, in pot number 1, they are joined by Indian Jesus. So AOR Indian Jesus, a newcomer into this league and straight into that top 2. That top pot, then pot number 2, we have got a few more newcomers then. So Louis Ladd and Irish Nude Potato, they take their places in pot number 2 alongside one-time race winner, a very, very good race in Suzuka from Ashwan, or AJ Wuhan. For some of you back home, Inemo finished strong into the season. He's there along with James LTH44, and the final driver in pot number 2 is Beastie Boys. So there is 6 drivers then in that pot 2. They will be partnered by, of course, pot number 3. So those drivers are Strauss P01. So Strauss in pot 3 alongside Origin Gamma and the Real DC. Both of those Williams teammates last year won't be teammates again this year. Godly Noob and Original Civi are 2 newcomers. They are in pot number 3 alongside the final driver, Nathan JB17. Very, very strong performances last season, moved over to Will, so that is why, if you're confused, he is in pot number 3. And then the final pot of tier 1 includes your tier 2 champion from last year, Chris VK Panda. This is Gingy Krishna and M66, former Academy champion. So they are your pots for this part of the draw. Here we go. We will be on camera next Thursday, remember, at Silverstone for the season opener. Who will take the honours? Here we go. I hope you're ready, everybody, because this is where it gets funny. The first pairing in CRC, remember, these will drive the same cars as Pheasant and JD. So the same team as Pheasant and JD in tier 2. The first driver out of the draw is... Let's go indeed. It's Harvey Lee's 11. So Harvey is the first driver drawn in tier 1. Who will be his partner? We will wait and see. Remember, there are only 4 drivers in this one. Here we go. Who will be partnering Harvey? Oh, what a lineup this is. It's your Tier 2 champion, Chris VK Panda and Harvey. So Harvey and Panda will be alongside Pheasant and JD in the constructors. As we go into pot number 2. That is New Lad, Louis Lad. So Louis Lad is out of the draw. Who will be his partner? Let's not hesitate, shall we? It is another newcomer to the league, Godly Noob. So Godly Noob is partnering Louis Lad, Turbo Kyle, and Toes. They look very strong guy. So we'll go back to pot number 1 then. And it is the boy, Daniel Ferguson, CGM Fergs out of the pot. So CGM Fergs is next. And partnering him will be the Bloody Scotsman. This is Gingy. So Gingy and Ferg will drive together in CRC 1. So Ferg and Gingy go back into pot number 2. And it's Nemo. Some very strong performances towards the end from Nemo. He is in pot 2. So Nemo and the Real DC. The Real DC will be partnering Nemo. What a partnership that offers to be. So here we go then. The next partnership, rather than going back to pots 1 and 4, I will be going back to the middle pot and this pot here, because obviously there are more numbers in it. So I'll be doing the next 2 teams from these 2 middle pots. And it is Ash 1, as we used to hear from Calcano for lecture. So AJ Wuhan is next out of the pot. And he will be partnered by come on indeed, because it is, of course, Strauss. There you go, Pepin. You have got your wish. You are with Jacob. So Strauss and AJ in the same team. They will be partnering me and Ben Wheeler in CRC2. Welcome along, Jacob, to the clan. So next up, once again, coming out of pot 2, it is Beastie Boys. So joined at the latter stages of last season, but Beastie Boys is here from the get-go, and he is there. And his partner will be a newcomer then, Original Civvy. You are famous now because your name is out of the hat. Original Civvy will be partnering Beastie Boys. And their partners then will be Nelu Safu and Jack Dumpf. You're more of a main, actually. I am the imposter. You are correct. So here we go then. Back to pot number 1. And it is the newcomer, AOR, Indian Jesus. So Indian Jesus will be partnered by the boy, Krishna. So Krishna will be with newcomer Indian Jesus. So we're back into pot number 2. And we draw out James LTH 44. So James LTH 44 is next out of the pot. And he will be partnered by none other than Nathan. So Nathan is next out of the hat. Nathan JB17. So their partners will be Big Bows and Captain Nick. As we go back to the final thing. And here we go then. The champion is out. Do Will, reigning champion of season 2. He is out of the hat. And the driver partnering him is, of course, M66. So M66 will be partnering the reigning champion, which leaves the final drivers pairing of this draw. Irish Nude Potato. So Irish Nude Potato is out. And his partner for his first season in this league is none other than the final driver in this draw, Origin Gamma. So Origin Gamma will partner Irish Nude Potato. So there you have it. That is the driver grid all completed for this Tier 1 grid. Just to go through some of these pairings, you would not believe. Harvey and Chris Panda, Louis Ladd and Godly Noob, CGM Fergs and Gingy, iNemo and the Real DC, AJ and Strauss, Beastie Boys and Original Civi, Indian Jesus and Krishna, Jamie, LTH and Nathan, Do Will and M66, and Irish Nude Potato will be partnered by Origin Gamma. That is it. These are going to be biblical scenes indeed. That is the drivers lineup all done. But now, here comes the most important part of the draw. The team reveal. Whose car will you be driving in? That is what you want to know. And this is what I am going to draw out now for you. What car will you be in? As we just load them up into the all-important machine. In goes AlphaTauri. In goes McLaren. Racing Point joins the grid. And last by no means least is Haas. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And there they are. That is the 10 teams. Where is my lid that I use? Oh, God, this is problematic. No, there we go. It is here. Here we go. Right. So, for the Academy, Marconi and Van Gogh Verdon will be in the Williams. So it's Williams for Marconi and Van Gogh Verdon. Harvey and Murphy are in the Racing Point. So Racing Point for Harvey and Murphy. Going down to Dat Roland and Immortal Viking. It is the McLaren. So Dat Roland and Immortal Viking are McLaren. Sprunky and Lernock are in the Ferrari. So Ferrari for the newcomers. What about Big Ben and Matt Claren? So it won't be Matt Claren anymore. It's Haas. So Haas for Big Ben and Matt. As we move into the second half of the Academy grid, then Alfa Romeo. So it's Alfa Romeo for Kieran and Vegas. Alpha for Kieran and Vegas. And it's the other Alpha. So it's Alpha Tauri this time for Warrior Huntsman. Back in his car again, Alpha Tauri, alongside Racing Slade. So Racing Slade and Warrior in the Alpha Tauri. It is Renault next. So Renault for Shadow Moody and Luis Coelho. So they will be in the Renault car. As we move on to the returning Digweed. So where will Digweed and Piero be driving? It is the Mercedes. So Digweed back in the league, back in the Mercedes. And that leaves, last but not least, the pairing of Assault King and Tomo Tip Top in what I assume is, of course, the Red Bull. So it's the Red Bull for Tomo and Assault King. They are in that team. So just a quick run through then. Towards the end, once I've drawn all the constructors out, I will, of course, go through all. Moving on very shortly into CRC2. Where will they all be driving? It remains to be seen. Just to make it a little bit different, though. So obviously, just then I've gone from top to bottom with the Academy pairings. I will be going from the last drawn Tier 2 pairing up to the first drawn, just to make sure that it's a little bit fairer. So that the first pairings drawn out don't get the first constructors. So the first constructors of Tier 2 will be Sadistic King and Jack Williams. So last year, Sadistic King and Jack Williams were not teammates. They are this year, though. So what car will they be in? That remains to be seen. We'll just give these a quick shake. Put the one in that's missing. Okay, so here we go then. For tier number 2, Sadistic King and Jack Williams will be driving in the McLaren. So it's the McLaren for Jamie and Ja Williams. Up to 4-star and Crago now. 4 racing points for 4-star and Crago. As we've got a little subscriber notice. Oh, what's going on there? We'll close that. I can't really see. Please don't freeze. There we go. Big Bows and Captain Nick are out next in the Ferrari. The Ferrari for Captain Nick and Big Bows. Will they suffer the same fate as their real life drivers? Next out of the draw for Royal Viking and Super Gabu. Sorry, Gabu, but it's Mercedes for you this year. It's the Mercedes for Gabu and Viking. Let's here we go then. The all-important one for you, Jack and Nelu. You're wanting the Haas. Hopefully I can give you the Haas. Here we go. What car will this be? It is the Williams. So the Williams for Jack and Nelu. And we come up now to myself and Ben Wheeler. I'm calling him Ben, it says B Wheeler. So B Wheeler and myself will be driving in the Red Bull. So it's the Red Bull and the Honda engine for myself and B Wheeler. As we come up to Clerk and Cole Paradox. It is the Alpha Tauri. So Alpha Tauri for Clerk and Cole Paradox. As we move into the final 3 now, it is Bring F1 and Liverpool Fan. It is, of course, not rigged. Liverpool Fan, you will be driving in the Alfa Romeo. The Alfa Romeo for Liverpool Fan and Bring F1. So that leaves 2 cars and 2 partnerships. It's Renault and it's Haas. Next out the draw for Kyle and Tobes is Renault. So it's Renault for Kyle and Tobes. And last but not least, probably a car he didn't want, for Pheasant and JD, it's the Haas. So it's Haas for Pheasant and JD. Please don't hate me. Yeah. I can see there. Yeah, I know you said the other day you did not want Haas, but unfortunately that is the luck of the draw. You will be in that car for next year. As we come on to the final stretch of this draw, it's almost an hour now since we started. It's been a long old onslaught, but here we go. The final part of this draw is the constructors for CRC1. So once again, I'll be going from the top. So it's back up to the top now, like a snake, as we've got the first partnership of Harvey and Chris Panda, and they will be in the Williams. So it's the Williams for Chris and Harv. So now that is completely Williams lineup for this year. In CRC1 is Harvey and Chris Panda. In Tier 2, it is Nelu Safu and Jack DNF. And in the Academy, it is Makoni and Van Go Verden. So that is the first confirmed driver lineup of the season. Next is to the newcomers, Louis Ladd and Godly Noob. And Nathan, it's your lucky day because they're in the Alfa Romeo. It's Alfa Romeo for Louis Ladd and Godly Noob. Alfa Romeo. So the Alfa Romeo lineup for this year is Louis Ladd and Godly Noob in Tier 1. In Tier 2, it's Bring F1 and Liverpool Fan. And in the Academy, we have got Kierant and Vegas. So that is Alfa Romeo. As we move on to Fergs and Gingy. Fergs and Gingy. See the racing point. I know Fergs will be happy with that. It's racing point for Fergs and Gingy. And they will be partnered in Tier 2 by Forstar and Craigo. And in the Academy, Harvey and Murphy. So that is racing point done and dusted. As we now move on to the pairing of Imo and DC. DC asking for that banana car. Can I give it to you? We will find out. It's Ferrari. So it's Ferrari for DC and Imo. Ferrari and DC. So the Ferrari lineup is complete. Imo returns to the Scuderia. He is back for a second season. He will be partnered by DC in Tier 1. In Tier 2, the Ferrari is Big Bows and Captain Nick. And in the Academy, Sprunky and Luknock. As we come on to AJ and Strauss. AJ and Strauss, what car will they be in? It's the Red Bull. It's the Red Bull for AJ and Strauss. Strauss returns to Red Bull after season 1. So AJ, Wuhan and Strauss in Red Bull alongside myself and Ben Wheeler in Tier 2. And in the Academy, it is Assault King and Tomo Tip Top. So Tomo Tip Top. is the final race Red Bull driver for this year. As we come on to Beastie Boys and Civi. Beastie Boys and Civi. Take the banana car. So it's Renault for Beastie Boys and Civi. It's Renault. And they will be joined alongside Kyle and Tobes in Tier 2. And Shadow Moody and Luis Coelho in the academies. We've got 4 drivers lineups left to reveal the teams. Will still hoping that he will get that Mercedes or the Haas. Who will be next up? It's Indian Jesus and Krishna. It's Haas. So Haas has now gone. Krishna and Indian Jesus in the Haas car. And they will be joined in Tier 2 by Pheasant and JD 1906. So JD 1906 and Pheasant in Tier 2. Indian Jesus and Christian in Tier 1. And in the academy, it's Big Ben and Matt Warner. Here we go then for Jamie, LTH44 and Nathan. Here we go then, lads. It's the Mercedes. So the Mercedes is gone. Mercedes is gone. So Tier 1 Merc is Nathan and Jamie. Tier 2 is Royal Viking and Super Gabu. And the Academy is Digweed and Piero. So Peo and Piero there. Fergs, you are in the Racing Point. You are Racing Point, Fergs. If only he was a driver lineup earlier. Duo and M66, the next pairing. There's just 2 teams left. Who will it be for Duo? I don't think you'll mind this one bit. It's the Alpha Tauri. So Alpha Tauri for Duo and M66. Alpha Tauri. Which means that Origin Gamma and Irish New Potato will, of course, drive for McLaren. So it's McLaren for New Potato and Gamma. So that is it. The driver lineup is done and dusty. La victoire de Pierre Gasly indeed. Expect to see the Alpha Tauris on a lot of podiums this year then. So we'll go just for a quick run through of the teams once more. We'll start. I'll run it down the academy. So we'll go for Williams then. It's McConey and Van Gogh Verden in the academy. In Tier 2, it's Nelu and Jack. And in Tier 1, it is Harvey and Panda. Racing Point is MUFC Harvey and Murphy in the academy. 4-Star and Grado in Tier 2. And Fergs and Gingy in Tier 1. Onto McLaren, it's Dat Roland and Immortal Viking in the academy. Sadistic King and Jar Williams. And then Irish New Potato and Origin Gamma. Sprunky and Luke Knock line up for Ferrari alongside Captain Nick and Big Bows, Inemo and DC. It's down to Haas for Big Ben and Matt Warner in the academy. They are joined by Pheasant and JD in Tier 2, and their Tier 1 counterparts are Indian Jesus and Krishna. It's down to Alfa Romeo next for Kirant and Vegas in the academy. Bring F1 and Liverpool fan in Tier 2, and of course Louis Ladd and Godly New in Tier 1. And he's joined by Racing Slade in Tier 2. It's Claire PR and Cole Paradox. And Tier 1 is, of course, the champion Do Will and M66. The banana car at Renault is Shadow Moody and Luis Coelho in the academy. It belongs to Kyle and Tobes in Tier 2. To Beastie Boys and Civi in Tier 1. On to the reigning Constructors Champion, the Mercedes, then that is Digweed and Piero in the academy. In Tier 2, that is Royal Viking and Super Gabu. And, of course, as mentioned, Amy, LTH44 and Nathan in Tier 1. And the final constructor to be drawn in the academy was a Red Bull. That belongs to Salt King and Tomo Tip Top in tier 2. And of course, myself and Ben Wheeler, that guy Draper and Ben Wheeler then. And in tier 1, AJ Wuhan and Strauss. Yes, Leon Spunky did get drawn. Just gone through it. He's in Ferrari with Luke Knopp. So there you have it. An hour of draw is completed. We have seen all the drivers done. This is for you, Dan. As we see, there's no window open, but there you go. Just throwing it up because what is that draw? We are done. Tune in next Thursday. We're hitting Silverstone. We hope to see you there. Hello? Oh, is it? I've shut the lab. Oh. Bye.